Modern culture pressures you to do what everyone else is doing. You're supposed to climb your way up your career ladder and take every promotion you can get. You're supposed to hit the gym 5 days a week, eat healthy, get sunlight every morning, limit your screen time, run a side hustle that makes you passive income, participate in a vibrant social life, network, travel, keep up with your personal brand, and dozens of other things that constantly take up more and more of your time and attention. And by trying to do all of these things, you feel like you accomplish nothing. Your personal brand is lacking because you don't have time to post due to the fact that you're trying to do better in the gym. But you can't do that because you're overworking yourself to climb your career ladder, which takes away from your side hustle, and so on and so forth until you're in a whirlwind of chaos that feels draining and exhausting. And at that point, you just long for a simpler life. You start watching videos on YouTube of people who road trip across the country or build a cabin in the woods by themselves, and you glorify this lifestyle because of how miserable you are with your current lifestyle. If this sounds familiar, then I feel you, because that's exactly where I am right now. I have this pull inside of me to become the best, most well-rounded person I could possibly become, to start a business and make an impact and get in shape and basically everything else I just talked about. But sometimes all of these lofty goals kind of overwhelm me, and I want to be that guy who's backpacking around Europe on $10 a day or traveling in the United States in a converted camper van. I for some reason hop back and forth between these two extremes, and I often struggle to find my balance. My motivation comes in these weird, inconsistent bursts and then vanishes to come back randomly while I'm laying in bed or in the shower. It makes no sense, and I'm trying to find a more consistent way to remain motivated and to continue to work on my goals. And if you're anything like me and you're experiencing this, you have to admit that it's kind of exhausting. But I do think I found a solution. So let me tell you a story. I've been making YouTube videos for almost 9 years. Yes, you heard that right, 9 years. At this point, YouTube is pretty much ingrained in my DNA, and it basically consumes every aspect of my life. I'm at dinner, thinking about YouTube. I'm on the toilet, thinking about YouTube. I'm at the gym, thinking about YouTube. I don't understand how something can be so overwhelmingly important in my life when it's something so novel as a social media platform, but I'm telling you, if you're a YouTuber, you understand where I'm coming from. And I have a great passion for YouTube, but I also have a passion for business. So I figured I could combine the two and start a portfolio of YouTube channels as my business. I launched 2 other channels and determined that I would do weekly uploads on each of them while maintaining my upload schedule on my main channel. But I also work a full-time professional marketing job, so the YouTube stuff would have to take place after that. I also wanted to start an Instagram and TikTok page showcasing local restaurants in my area. Plus, I need to spend time with my girlfriend and my friends. But I also want to get in better shape, so I've been trying to hit the gym consistently. As you can probably assume, this is exhausting, and I constantly feel frazzle-brained, jumping from one task to the next and trying to do everything at once until I get back to the point where I want to live a simple life and give up on all of it. And the cycle continues. My previous mindset of trying to do everything isn't sustainable, and I know that even if your particulars are different, you probably feel the same way sometimes. In the world we live in, it seems like everybody does. And the reason why we do is because we're saying yes too much. See, a house in the woods isn't actually going to fix any of your problems, but learning to say no will. I recently read a book called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, and it changed my perspective on things and really helped me to slow down. Essentialism is the idea of less but better, of taking control of your life to prevent other people from controlling it for you. So think about this. Let's say you're constantly feeling stressed out at work, like most of us are. Your boss is constantly giving you new projects and shoveling more and more onto your plate. You need to be as productive as possible, so you keep saying yes and doing more and more and more and more until you hate your life and want to quit. Of course you feel that way. You're being pulled in so many different directions that you aren't accomplishing anything. And see, this is where essentialism comes into play. Instead of saying yes to everything, you gotta be more selective. Only do the things that are absolutely crucial to your goals and objectives, and if something trivial is going to pull you away from those, then you should probably say no to it. Learning to say no is hard. In fact, it's way harder than saying yes. I know channels like Yes Theory really push the message of saying yes, and while this is a great message for, living a more adventurous life, a lot of us aren't really that adventurous. And I think it's important to also learn to say no. For example, let's frame this for Yes Theory again. Their idea is say yes to everything and life will be so much more fun. And while I do agree with that message, and while I personally think I need to get better at saying yes to more spontaneous things, especially when I'm free, I don't think that's the right approach to living a more fulfilling life. At least if you're trying to reach your goals. Reaching your goals requires consistent effort, and saying no is the best way to take control of your life and fix the inconsistencies with your productivity and work ethic, and it'll help you avoid burnout. Again, I have nothing against saying yes, but saying yes to things that are counterproductive to your goals and ideals is not worth it. In the book, the author has a section talking about the word priority. Before the 1900s, there was no plural version of the word priority, but somehow it evolved to become a symbol of all of the things we want to do. And now the word priorities with an S on the end exists. What are your priorities? Family, work, health, social life. That's not how it works. We can't have multiple first things, and as hard as it is for you to admit it, you have to pick one and focus on it. If you want to grow a business, business needs to be your priority. If you want a healthy family life, you need to put family first. You gotta focus on what you're actually pursuing and emphasize it, because the more that you split up your energy, the less progress you'll make in any one direction. Which is exactly what I did with YouTube, and I disconnected the idea of business from YouTube, and ironically, now this new channel is my primary focus, for the sole reason of enjoyment and being able to put my thoughts out into the world. My perspective shifted because of the essentialism mindset. I feel like we also need to talk about focus. Focus isn't something that either happens or doesn't happen. It's an action. The deliberate directing of attention onto whatever it is you're doing. So in order to focus, you need to actually direct that attention. There's no way around it. And in order to do that, you gotta eliminate distractions. I don't mean distractions like background noise or social media. I mean things that pull your attention away from whatever your priority is. For example, if the gym is your goal, don't go out drinking the night before. If business is your goal, also don't go out drinking the night before. I mean, honestly, drinking is terrible and you probably just shouldn't do it anyways. My point is that with the idea of essentialism, you don't need to live some crazy, unrealistic, nomadic, simple lifestyle. You actually have the ability to craft your life into what you want it to be, and that doesn't require you living in the middle of the woods. And the way that you craft your life is by putting your focus into the goals that you're trying to reach. Don't say yes to a party if you don't want to go. Don't say yes to an event if it's counterproductive to your overarching goals. Learning to say no will make your schedule and your mind more clear, which will help you get to wherever it is you're trying to go much, much faster. This is a little simplistic though, because I do have to admit, we may not always have control over our options. If you don't have the money to go to college, college is probably off the table for you. So that leaves you with some different alternatives. Maybe you can join the army, work a trade job, try to become a nurse, travel for a year on a super small budget, or take out loans. You can't control the fact that you can't afford college or that these alternatives are your only ones, but you do have the freedom to choose among your options. Which means your future is still in your hands as long as you direct your energy into whichever option you end up choosing. You see how this all connects? If you want to escape poverty by working a trade job as a mechanic, you can't also travel the world at the same time. And if that opportunity comes up to travel on a budget, you're gonna have to find a way to say no. That's the idea of essentialism, and that's exactly what I'm trying to get across in this video. Focus on what truly matters, and you'll make much more progress than by doing everything that gets thrown at you. I'll link the book in the description, and if you're feeling overwhelmed, it can really help to change your perspective. That's it for my talk today, and I will talk to you guys next time.